Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Giga Geeks podcast. I am your host, the Giga Gamer Dad, and with me I have my co-host, BPDC PTSD. For those of you that are longtime viewers, you will remember her as Panda. How are you, Panda? You just got home from work, right?
I did, and I'm so tired today. We had a success check. So, hold on, I didn't change anything on my thingy. Because I'm definitely not playing Final Fantasy. Okay. So it's like, at my job, we have to do haircuts like a specific way. Not the haircut itself, but like everything around it. So we have coaches come around to every store and like make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Sure.
So Cindy came in and I did excellent, she says. Because last time she came in, I had just gotten back on my meds. It was not a good time. But overall, I'm just tired today.
Oh, that's okay. At least it wasn't like my yesterday. We won't get into what happened yesterday because it's pretty disgusting. But my kid, you know those videos where you see the kids that wipe their poop on the walls?
Oh no. Oh my god, you had a poop day yesterday too?
Yeah.
So
Oh no, what's yours?
my poor
I don't even want to
manager
know.
yesterday at the salon,
Mm-hmm.
someone came in, like not really elderly, but like in their 60s,
I can only imagine where this is going.
walked through the whole salon, literally just shit through the whole salon. I went in because I needed to print some stuff off for the DMV yesterday. And like I walked in the back door and I was like, well, in my mind, I'm like, wow, Mel really tried to clean up the place because we have our success check tomorrow. And then I walked beyond the bathroom and that's all you could smell was shit. And I was like, oh no. Poor Mel and Megan. I felt so bad. Oh, what I was going to say earlier, since Mr. I had to play a game to pass time since you were taking forever.
I was waiting. You were taking forever, and I was playing Civilization.
So, what I was going to say earlier, it's nice though, like only having a 20-minute drive to and from work compared to my 40-minute drive. But even on days where I hit every single red light from work to home, it only takes about 35 minutes.
I definitely understand because working the overnights has been great for me because it takes me 30 minutes to get in instead of an hour and a half, depending. So definitely understand. But yeah. Well, we are a few minutes into the show. We have quite a lot of news. These last 2 weeks have been crazy. Let's start with the first thing, and I don't need a news article for this. So the last time we were on air, we were telling everybody that we put in for the wish list for the Steam machine.
Oh,
well, last week the lists closed and randomized, and I don't know about you, but I'm on the wait list. You're on the wait list too. So I'm not getting into one of those anytime soon, I think, for a review. So that sucks. I've been eagerly like checking my emails, hoping that people have just not purchased them. Because if they don't purchase them, then it goes to the next person in line. And it being on the wait list means that we probably aren't getting them in this first shipment, which sucks. But that leads us into our episode. This is episode 58, and we are talking about the game industry hellscape. Because we already knew that the Steam machine was way overpriced. We had already discussed that it was expected to be cheaper. Prices for video games are not going down. And something that has always been good is the used game market. So if you go into like places like GameStop, you can buy fairly cheap games on disc for damn near everything, right? I don't know about you, but I haven't bought a disc game in quite a while. Actually, I take that back. I pre-ordered the $200 edition of Fable.
That doesn't count. That's expected.
It comes with a disc and a steelbook. Regardless, I plan on hanging the disc and the steelbook on the wall and still buying a digital copy, so I have the Play Anywhere version.
I think the last physical copy game that I actually bought was Final Fantasy 15.
I can't remember the last time I bought one. I still have the Destiny Collector's Edition, which came with a steelbook.
So I remember I think it was Black Ops. I don't know. A certain Call of Duty came out the same time. A person with ovaries. Oh, goodness. You're hilarious. It was some sort of Call of Duty came out the same time that Final Fantasy 15 came out. And my ex-husband and I did the pre-orders for him. So he got really mad at me, okay, because it was like 60 for his and 90 for mine. Okay. So he went to so it was in 2 payments that we had to do this. So he went and he's like, oh, I paid the one half of it. I was like, well, the bank statement says that you paid this. So you didn't pay half. He's like, yeah, 60 and 60. Like, I'm like, no, mine was 90. And he exploded on me.
Did you get like the Ultimate Edition or?
I got the game and the movie.
Oh, okay. That's expected then.
Exactly. So
like
he got so mad about it. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
He sounds like a dick, so it's not worth our time.
I watched that movie nonstop for like 3
baby.
And he's like, are you seriously watching this again? I'm like, so you're gonna complain that I bought it, and then you're gonna complain that I'm watching it. Like, get out of here.
That leads us into our first segment, though, because discs seem to be going away on PlayStation.
Crazy.
Like, completely. And rumor is that Xbox is doing the same thing, but what I feel is a lot of Xbox players are also PC players. And we have come to terms with a lot of our library being digital. Like my Steam library, I have 555 plus games on Steam, and they're all digital. So why would I care that games are going digital? But this is what PlayStation had to say from their own PlayStation blog, believe it or not. July 1st, 2026, physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. And this was from Sid Schumann, Senior Director at Sony Entertainment Content Communications. Why they have to add he, him, I have no idea. Like, come on. Just use your name. Oh, boy.
Anyway.
In response to shifting trends in consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. As consumer preferences and broader entertainment industry continues to shift away from physical discs to digital, physical game disc production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games that already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical discs. This transition will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play games today. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation in how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games. Whether that's at retailers or PlayStation Store, we remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. For more informant updates on PlayStation Store for PS3 and Vita announced today, please click here. This is the other thing. An update on the PS3 store and the PS Vita, also by Sid Schumann. Crazy, he's plugging himself in here. At the start of this year in select markets, followed by global changes in 2027. After nearly 2 decades of supporting the PS3 console generation, we want to let you know that we will be closing the PlayStation Store on PS3 as well as on the PS Vita. PlayStation Store and PS3 will close in select markets starting this year, followed by a global closure for PS3 and PS Vita next year. That means new content purchases will no longer be possible once the PlayStation Store closes on those devices. To ease the transition, players will still be able to download previously purchased content after closing date for the foreseeable future. And right down here, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, PlayStation Store and PS3 will close starting August 2026. Additional Latin American and Middle Eastern countries, PlayStation Store and PS3 will start closing late 2026. In all other countries, PlayStation Store on PS3 and PS Vita will close in July 2027. Well, okay, so that is a lot of things to discuss. Because a lot of Sony fans are not happy about this, considering that I am on Reddit absolutely all the time.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, I keep they keep what is it? They keep recommending other sites to me, or other things to me, and one of them is PlayStation fan site stuff. And I keep reading some of the articles and stuff, and staying in touch with a few of my buddies that play PlayStation. And for the most part, the people that are online are very upset that physical media is going away. However, PC gamers haven't had physical media for the last decade and a half or so. I think the last game I bought on disc was Sims Medieval in 2020. 2020. No, I take that back. Not 2020. 2020. 2010. 2010. Because we talked about that. Came out on my birthday, remember? That was the last physical disc I think I bought.
For a computer or just
for a computer game, yes. Oh, no, I take that back. SimCity 2013 came out and I bought that on disc.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you.
Regardless.
It could have been like the OG Sims, for all I know.
I don't remember the last time I bought a disc to play a video game. And especially, I don't think my Xbox Series X has ever ran a disc.
Final Fantasy 15 is the only one for me. But that's the only game that I actually have a physical copy of.
The only thing I can think of is the rumor is that they are starting production on PS7 or PS6s and PS6 hardware without adjusting for the consumer is already sitting at about $1,000. That's just the hardware. And thinking about it, the disk drive obviously costs money. If you're going to cut costs, cut it where you can cut off something that's probably not going to be useful. I was reading a report that I think 1 in 5 games bought on PlayStation are physical, and that's because it's the only game. There was a choice. Most people, when they had the choice between physical and disc games, would buy a physical version. But that is severely gone under because most games that are releasing on consoles now are only releasing a digital version. So people are buying digital games 5 to 1.
My initial thought on that sales stat
Mm.
is how many of those are parents buying games for their kids?
Mm. I mean, if you have collectors like myself, some people like to look at their disc collection.
Yeah.
That was a stack of things on a shelf that I had no use for. I have other things that I need shelves for.
Even for me with my daughter, when she pretty much took over the Switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Oh, I really want this game," but we were already at the mall, and she wanted Animal Crossings.
Yep.
We bought it at GameStop. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's cheaper here than online." I'm like, "Yeah, welcome to
Mm.
GameStop."
Yeah.
And so it's like, I feel like that would be a small factor to take in to
It,
consideration.
it it definitely is, and that's the thing. Like, people are not going to be able to buy their PlayStation games for cheap now. Like, they're not going to be able to go buy a secondhand version of God of War. They're only going to be subject to however they can get it online now. And that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people are mad about, which I understand. Like, I don't want to pay or be forced to play a game full price, especially like that. The other thing is that Sony is being sued for monopolizing their storefront.
Crazy.
Because if they take off their games from PC after doing it so long and they start going exclusives, because Xbox has always released their games on PC, so you can't really technically call them a monopoly. But if PlayStation starts pulling their exclusives and only having them on their consoles, that's where the monopoly starts coming in. And Nintendo is probably, I'm surprised Nintendo wouldn't be sued for the same thing, weirdly. Um, but that's here or there. After all this happens, another article came out today, which does not make Sony look good at all. And we'll talk about Xbox later. Xbox is some bad news too, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as this. Inside, this is from Quiver Quantitative or Quantitative. They monitor like stock stuff. And this says insider sale. President of CEO of Sony sells 225,000 shares. This is by Quiver Insider, and it's automated 7 hours ago, July 7th, 2026, at 3:31 p.m. So 5 hours ago. Oh, Reddit sending me emails. And this is what it says. Hiroki Totoki, the president of and CEO of Sony, sold 225,000 shares of the company on 7/03/2026, right? Yep. For an estimated $4,729,000 or $29,500. We received data on the trade from a recent SEC filing. This was a sale of approximately 56.5% of their shares of this class of stock. Following this trade, they now own 173,250 shares of this class of Sony stock. And if we look here at insider trading, they were at their peak a while ago. Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool. I can go into this. This is what I wanted to see where this was. Their highest was November 14th, 2025, and you can buy it at $30.12. But to sell that many, look at right here. It's president and CEO sold 225,000 shares. And we'll get into the rest. Because when you have a president selling their shares of a company, that does not look
That
good for the
doesn't
company at
look.
all.
Yeah. I don't know much, but I know enough.
If especially if it's on a downward trend like this,
Yeah.
like, are you kidding? This is not good. They're worried it's going to dip really far because the last dip was in 2023. Let's see. Sony insiders have traded Sony stock on the open market 4 times in the past 6 months. Of those trades, 0 have been purchased and 4 have been sales. Here's a breakdown of recent trading of Sony stock by insiders over the last 6 months. Kenshiro Yoshida sold 400,000 shares for an estimated $9,044,000. Jesus Christ. Hiroki Totoki, president and CEO, sold 225,000 shares for the estimated 4.7 million that we already discussed. Tsuyoshi Kodera, chief digital officer, CDO, has made 0 purchases and 2 sales, selling 68,500 shares for an estimated $1,443,000 in 215. To track insider transactions, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to know any of that. What we do need to know is we have seen 293 institutional investors add shares of Sony stock to their portfolio, and 388 decrease their positions in their most recent quarter. Like this one, this is insane. Removed 5,597,000. Like, look at this. $115 million. Oh, man.
I need a little elaboration because now I'm lost.
So they're having... These really don't matter because this is in Q1 2026. They bought shares, and that was before all of that disc stuff started coming up. Okay. Once that was announced, because they announced that they were going discless on July 1st.
Right.
Hiroki sold his on the 3rd.
Okay. That's okay. Now I'm back. I'm here. Okay.
So
I was here and then I was lost. Now I'm back.
It means they know about the backlash, and they have been silent since they announced that. It has been a whole week. So I take that back. They did release a Twitter announcing that they have a PlayStation Fight Stick and they want you to buy it.
A what?
Like, you know those fighting game pads with all the buttons? Yeah, Sony's releasing their own.
Okay.
All this is telling me is that Sony is making the wrong moves.
Like, that's a weird flex, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Sony, even the president isn't like, after seeing the backlash and everything, it's not looking good. It's not. And it's just funny because all these times for the last week, we've also been hearing that Xbox is laying off all their studios and closing 4 of them and shit like that. And it came out to, what was it? I sent this to you yesterday. We have quite
I was at the DMV and I read like the first 2 paragraphs.
Before your brain started to hurt?
I was at the DMV.
That's all right.
That's all I should have to say is I'm at the DMV.
I'm going to read it for you right now. I'm going to read it for you right now. It's going to be a minute.
Okay.
This is by Asha Sharma, the president and CEO of Xbox. I think that she's the president. Either way, she's the CEO. This happened 1:31 p.m. July 6, 2026, and this is quite a doozy. So let's start off. This is an important email I sent today to all employees at Xbox. Team, we are beginning the most important restructure in Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made the difficult decision to reduce our team by approximately 3,200 throughout fiscal year 2027. This will include approximately 1,600 roles eliminations today, and in addition, 4 studios will leave Xbox to new management. I recognize that a year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it is not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions, while others were recruited here or sought us out because they loved this industry and loved Xbox. Today's decisions do not reflect their talent or dedication. Our business today is not healthy. We are operating at margins that are 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platform and publishing businesses. We entered Gen 9 with a smaller install base and a higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi-platform, and a broader portfolio of content. While those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core business weakened and we added more teams, more investment, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. We must reset Xbox. Let's hold off on the rest for a second. So 3,600 people total. That is not including any of the studios that are being let go to their own volition. Because however those studios they aren't necessarily laid off. They are going in their own direction, if that makes sense. So they're going to still be around. They're going to go continue making their games, just not under Xbox's company anymore. And 3,600 people. I think I looked at an article that was like explaining how many people that is. That's less than 2% of the entirety of Microsoft. Less than 2%, which is a really small number. And everybody's making this
3,600 was less than 2. So then 36,000 would be 20, less than 20. Can I do math? Am I doing math right?
I think that would be 10%. You add a 0.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's not a lot, even with 10.
No. Anyways, that's not a lot of people. And there are a lot of people that are like, I have another article here, and it's from one of the developers that did get laid off. And I think he's being a whiny baby. But in an industry where turnover rate is so high and you know that tech is very volatile, to be mad that you get let go because profits aren't there, you're delusional, bud. We'll get to that.
I think from what you read so far, I appreciate the honesty and transparency. This is 2 different things. Surprisingly enough, people don't know that. But it's like, and she's painting the truth. It's not sugar coated, because she's right with like, it's not about what's being built software side. It is coming down to the hardware, and it's near impossible.
Oh, and it gets even better. We're going to talk about what part of the structure is coming down. But the other thing is, like, whenever a company has a new CEO, a new regime comes into place, there's always restructuring, there's always layoffs. Like, it is always expected. And people that don't expect that to happen, Probably.
Do we know
I
how
don't want to
old
say they're
this
dumb.
guy is that's complaining? That's what I want to know.
I'm sure we'll figure it out, but we'll figure it out. But it's just one of those things. Like, to be in an industry where you know something like this is prevalent, it's hard to have a lot of pity. Let's continue on. First, we will reset our content portfolio. Since 2028, we have aggressively expanded our studio portfolio, while the number of games
Since
created
what?
each 2018.
You said 2028.
You're right. I meant 2018. My brain is working over. Like, whatever. let me start over then. How's that? Yeah, where are we? Since 2018, we have aggressively expanded our studio portfolio, while the number of games created each month across the industry now outpaces the last 10 years combined. We now find ourselves competing not only with the largest publishers, but also with smaller independent studios. It is neither possible nor desirable to own every great independent studio. We have also learned that we are not the best home for every type of studio. In a typical year, we lost 64 cents for every dollar we invested. As we reset Xbox, we will help independent creators succeed by providing more open development tools and audiences to realize their vision. Compulsion Games and Double Fine Productions will return to management and transition to independent studios with their IP catalog and runway for their next games. Ninja Theory and Undead Labs have entered terms to join new ownership with funding to complete and grow Senua and State of Decay 3. In France, Arcane's management is beginning required consultation with its works council to review potential strategic options. We are also making reductions across other units and in some cases shifting investments to focus on higher priority projects. These changes may vary in size across Activision, Bethesda and ZeniMax, Blizzard, King, Mojang, and Xbox Game Studios. None of our first-party publicly announced games or projects are being canceled as part of these reductions. In addition, Mojang and King will now report directly to me. These two studios have increasingly become platforms and are our largest bi-monthly active users. They bring critical geographic, demographic, and differentiation to Xbox. So, this is what we were just talking about. None of these development companies are just dissolving, which is happening. And that the rumor was that they were going to be let go a while ago. Kind of similar to how Bungie is forcing or laying off a lot of their employees because of Sony. But the thing is, these companies are still making games, and these games are still coming out. I'm a big fan of the State of Decay series, so I'm hopefully still going to get State of Decay 3, which I'm extremely excited for. But as far as these other companies, let's look at the catalog that they had within the last 8 years.
I can't even think of who King is, like what they've made.
King, you're gonna kick yourself in the ass here, but it's Candy Crush.
Oh, I never touched that game, so
No.
that makes sense.
And Mojang is Minecraft.
Oh yeah, huh? Okay.
So those are their two biggest games by far, bringing in the most money. Weirdly,
Minecraft checks out. Candy Crush should check out.
You have to think about the demographic playing Candy Crush. You have the little kids that are playing it because it's on their mommy and daddy's phone, and then you have grandma and grandpa that are playing it when they're watching TV.
Lower your tone when you talk about my stepmom like that.
I mean, come on, think about it.
I'm telling her she's gonna find you. All she needs is your first and last name and birthday, and I got all three.
But here is the games that these four companies released within the last 8 years. Undead Labs haven't released any games in the last 8 years. Their last game that released was State of Decay 2, and it released on May 22nd, 2008. I take that back.
Oh, so
I want to
that's
say
almost
it's
20 years.
no. I don't think it's 20 years. 8 years. I think it's 16. 2016, May 22nd, 2016. I think I might have my date wrong. Let me see. I googled it like half an hour. Yeah, 2018. I took that back
Okay.
because State of Decay 1 came out in like 2011, 2012 because I played that on the 360. The comprehensive edition was released March 13th, 2020. So still 8 years. 8 years since its last release. Compulsion Games just released South of Midnight. That has been the only game they released in the last 8 years. And it did not get received really well.
I don't know what it is.
South of Midnight, if you saw a trailer, you'd be like, oh, that game. Ninja Theory has done...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that game.
With,
Ninja Theory...
Loba.
Ninja Theory had Bleeding Edge and Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Bleeding Edge was kind of like a...
I've never seen that one.
I own it because it was on sale for like $4, but it was Bleeding Edge was a multiplayer game kind of like Overwatch. There's a reason why it didn't do well. It was competing against juggernauts in the industry, such as Overwatch. To create a game in that space and break through is not easy. Look at Marvel.
I feel like the only one that
Marvel
has,
Rivals.
but that one has its own like niche to go with it. I think that's the only reason why it's as successful as it is.
Yep. When did Senua's Saga, the first one, come out?
I don't even know how to spell that.
2017. So yeah, about 8 years almost. So that's crazy. Only 2 games in the last 8 years. One really failed, and one didn't sell quite like they wanted it to. And Double Fine had a great catalog. One of my favorite games is a Double Fine game, and that is Brutal Legend with Jack Black.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was really good. But they also released the Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2. When did Psychonauts 2 come out? I feel like it was
long ago.
I was going to say, I don't feel it was that long ago. And it released on Game Pass. It came out in 2021. So I was
going
right.
to say, it had to have been since Greg and I got together, because that's...
And it had great reviews. Like on Steam, it was a 10 out of 10. On Try Rolling, it was 9.7 out of 10. Like, it is a really, really well-rated game. However, the last 2 games that came out by Double Fine were Keeper and Kiln. Kiln is that pots multiplayer game where you design a pot and then you go around and try and destroy other pots. Yeah. Okay. And Keeper was where you walked around as a lighthouse.
Okay.
Both of those games very, very are like intriguing artistically, but
how high were these people when they made them? What were they on?
There's actually a really telling video where the lead director on Keeper was like, let's pitch the most like unpitchable game to Xbox. And they did, and then Xbox gave them money to make it. Like, it's wholly on their fault they failed. Like, interesting concept, sure. But you spent a lot of money to make something that a small handful of people would play. The reason why indie developers make so much money is because they don't have a team that they have to spread the wealth with. And 2, they have the passion to make it. And 3, they can be as creative as they want. I think the reason why these
I don't
companies,
disagree with you there.
I think the reason why these companies are failing is because Xbox didn't have a chief operating officer, so nobody was there to smack their hands and be like, "No, dumb bitch, make something that's gonna sell." That's a whole
But at
different
the
story.
same time,
Like, I get it. I have Keeper installed on like something. I
it's
wanted to
something.
play it, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, this is a Game Pass game. I don't look to buy this. Like, the amount of people that probably played it is very, very slim. Let's continue. Boop. So we finished the first section. Here's the second. We will reset our platform. We know that great technology gets better when it gets simpler, not bigger. Today, in some parts of the company, work passes through as many as 14 layers of management. Our platform teams are 40% larger than they were at the start of this generation, even as our player base and player time have declined. That complexity has slowed decisions, blurred accountability, and made it harder to deliver for players. As we reset Xbox, we will simplify. We will reduce management layers to no more than 5, and where possible, 3. We will deliver success through a flatter organization that is built around makers, individual contributors focused on building, player coaches, leaders who remain deeply involved in the work while developing their teams, and directly responsible individuals, DRIs, who own key decision and outcomes. We will streamline how we work across our tools with a cleaner code base, shared services, and 50% reduced vendor spending. 14 layers of management. You know what that means? I have to ask my boss, who has to ask his boss, who has to ask his boss, who has to ask his boss. And it keeps going down the line for weeks on end until it comes back to me to say, yes, I can go to the bathroom.
Yeah. We've actually...
That's like the simplest way of putting this.
I had to have that conversation with the new gal at my job because she's like, oh my gosh, it's been so dead. Like, can I just go home early? I was like, well, I may be your manager on duty or on shift, but I have to text Mel, who has to text Gina, who also has to text Megan, who also has to, and I like went like up into our franchise owner. Our franchise owner is the 7th person that it would get to determine. And it's the same thing because it's just like, and you're lucky if you can get to the 7th person within the time your shift is actually over.
Yeah, that's not
And
happening.
that's just that. There's nothing else to it.
And that's part of what we were just talking about. Like, nobody has been held accountable.
Difficult.
And the people that are held accountable, like, it has to go through 14 different layers to get to that point. So these companies have been either stalled because they don't have the feedback, or they've just been taking their time. And it just sucks that the reason why, like, what this reads to me is they are reducing their management layers from 17 to 5 to 3. I feel like the people that are being let go are within those other 10 layers of management. You all right there?
Good Lord. Even though they're all the way downstairs, they still bark at me.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, people are all mad that these guys are losing their jobs, but you're literally losing your job because your job
was pointless.
Is redundant.
Yeah.
It was a made-up position to try and make responsibilities in places that could have been streamlined somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it is. I think the guy that we're going to read about was like a lead on something. So we'll look at that. Let's finish up with the third. Third, we are resetting how we operate. As Xbox grew our headcount, we became more fragmented. Teams, studios, and functions often operate independently, and it became harder to work towards a shared goal, make the right trade-offs, and get things done. For the first time, we are establishing a chief operating officer with end-to-end P&L responsibility across content, hardware, platform, and services. Helen Chang has been promoted to the role and will report directly to me. Over nearly 2 decades at Xbox, Helen has helped build some of our most important businesses, from Xbox Live to leading Mojang and the Minecraft franchise. She will bring our businesses together under one operating model, making sure we make clear investment decisions, learn from our successes and failures, and hold ourselves accountable for the results. Thank you, Dave McCarthy, who is retiring after 17 years with Xbox. Dave has played a defining role in building the platform that millions of players rely on every day, and has been a trusted partner through many of the biggest moments in Xbox's history. We wish him all the best. These changes are about a bigger future for Xbox, not a smaller one. The next decade of gaming will be larger, more global, and more creative than anything we've seen before. This year, we'll invest as much in Xbox as we ever have, but we'll invest with greater focus, greater discipline, and greater clarity, all in service of making Xbox where the world plays and creates. I want Xbox to be one of the few companies that entertains more than 1 billion people each day and gives everybody the opportunity to create and connect. I know we can achieve this goal. Xbox has many of the most beloved franchises in entertainment history, talented studios around the world, and we will return to growth in 2027. History is full of companies that mistake longevity for inevitability. We will not be one of them. Asha. So remember when I said they didn't really have a chief operating officer? There we go. We have one. Somebody that's going to be knocking people's dicks in the dirt when they're not performing like they should be. Go, Helen.
Someone to be with the company for 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved. Pop off, queen.
I know. I knew Dave McCarthy had been with Xbox for a while. I don't know quite what he did. I just knew he worked with Xbox, and I think he helped like build the brand. But we have somebody now that is there to start being the person to keep everything in line. And part of what I was saying earlier about, how these companies were basically doing whatever they wanted, that definitely confirmed it. She was saying that the studios were acting independently. Like, that's not good. No wonder why games are taking forever to come out. Nobody's keeping them in charge. Not to mention that all the money that they are going to be saving by not paying these 5 other development studios will go towards R&D. So maybe they're going to go into finding how to make the next Xbox and build the brand. Like, they're saving money now. And who knows how many millions of dollars that's going to be. People don't understand. Like, there's a reason why layoffs happen. It's restructuring. They're streamlining everything. Like, you're not going to need everybody. You don't need multiple HR departments. We've talked about this before on our podcast. There are divisions and stuff that you don't necessarily need multiples of. Like, come on. It's not rocket surgery.
Hey.
But this...
The cat's trying to get in my room now.
Oh,
Tired of this,
boy.
Grandpa.
This is the last article, and this was from the developer I was telling you about. So we'll see what he has to say.
I'm so excited.
It's kind of juicy. Ooh. This is over at windowscentral.com. We hope our pain was worth it, as Microsoft's Xbox layoffs axe half of id Software. One Doom dev has a scathing message for anyone celebrating them. And this is by Brandon Lowry, published 5 hours ago. One Doom animator has biting words for those celebrating layoffs at Xbox and id Software. Okay, you stupid. I don't care. This week saw Microsoft and Xbox initiate the single biggest layoff wave in the gaming brand's history, with 3,200 Xbox and game development roles cut, 1,600 immediately, and another 1,600 throughout the next 12 months, as well as 4 studios devised from Xbox Game Studios publishing division. Along those teams and developers at ZeniMax and Bethesda, one studio that's been hit especially hard by the layoffs is id Software, the studio steward of the iconic and legendary shooter franchise Doom. It's come to light that roughly half of the entire studio has been discharged, including both game devs and staffers working on its id Tech game engines. Given the strong success of Doom 2016 reboot, Doom Eternal, and last year's Doom The Dark Ages, which has a new Revelations DLC coming out today, one day after the cuts, the fact that id Software has been affected so significantly by the Xbox layoffs has come as a shock to many. Cuts to the id Tech team were surprising as well, as Studio's engine has historically run well and has been used for non-Doom projects like Wolfenstein games and Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. That shock extends to id's developers themselves, many of whom have taken to social media platforms to express their astonishments and frustrations with the layoffs. One such employee, gameplay animator Sky Chow, has reacted to them with a scathing message for both Microsoft as well as for those celebrating and worshiping the cuts as a move in the right direction. And here it is. For your kind attention, we hope our pain is worth it. For my friends and followers who don't work in the game development, celebrating and worshiping that the layoffs yesterday were necessary for change and move in the right direction. On January 2023, 10,000 people, 343 Industries and Bethesda Game Studios at the Coalition were let go. That was when they acquired Bethesda, by the way. I believe. If don't quote me. Let's see. Let me Google this. When
You're
did
Googling something important. I'm trying to find this guy on social media.
When did Bethesda get acquired? March of 2021. Okay. So it was a few years after the fact. And that's the thing. Like, they acquired these guys. You don't need 2 PR teams. You know what I mean? Like, they acquired all these guys. They're going to let people go. January 2024, 1,900 people. Xbox, Activision Blizzard, Blizzard Entertainment, ZeniMax Media. They let them go. That they bought those companies. I think we talked about this like a year or two ago. May 2024, studio closures, approximately 260 to 350 employees affected. No official number. Alpha Dog Games, Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, Roundhouse Studios merged into ZeniMax Online Studios. September 2024, 650 people, Microsoft Gaming, Activision Blizzard, Xbox. July 2025, 9,000 people. The Initiative closed, Halo Studios, Turn 10 Studios, Rare, ZeniMax Online Studios, Undead Labs, Compulsion Games, King, Raven Software, Blizzard Entertainment, Activision teams. And then July 2026, 3,200 Xbox people total. 1,000 effective immediately, with 1,600 phase. Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Obsidian Entertainment, Activision Blizzard, and Compulsion. What he failed to tell anybody is what these numbers actually fucking are. Because if you're reading these numbers, you're like, you didn't tell us what these numbers are. Maybe those were the numbers that were hired by the company. You're not putting into context.
No.
What's going on here? So I think he fucked up on that part. Let's finish it. For my friends and followers who don't work in the game development, that that are celebrating and worshiping that the layoffs yesterday were necessary for change and a move in the right directions. I sure hope the 6th round of layoffs is worth our pain and your pleasure, wrote Chow. After all, things are going to be different this time around, right? Chow's post features an image. Oh, where the fuck did that ant come from? Okay. Chow's post features an image that highlights 5 previous rounds of Microsoft and Xbox layoffs that have, now we know, that have come down since early 2023, including 10,000 cuts in January of that year, 1,900 discharges at the start of 24, and the closure of several ZeniMax and Bethesda studios in May that year. The initiative and several projects being shuttered in 2025. We hope our pain was worth it. It's captioned. The new Xbox CEO, Asher Sharma, contends that these latest cuts were a difficult but necessary move as part of a reset for the brand after it's overextended with a lot of expansion and overly complex internal systems. Regardless of how true that ultimately is, or isn't, I can't blame Chow or any other developer for feeling angry and bitter. Throughout the last 4 years, several thousand layoffs have racked both Xbox and the wider gaming industry at large, following overinvestment in gaming during the pandemic, resulting in extreme volatility and repeated devastating losses of talent. I don't know what the right path forward is, especially with tariffs and the RAM crisis further complicating matters, but it's clear that the business is now, as it is now, isn't sustainable, and Chow is correct to highlight that layoffs haven't yet solved the problem. We can only hope for brighter times as Xbox and the game industry reorganize. See, this is the thing. Like, you've seen it coming since 2024, and to be mad about it when it finally catches up to you, like, come on, guy. The game industry is gonna crash. It really is. It's been heading that way for the last decade, because all these companies think that they're gonna be making these big bucks, and it's just not turning out that way. And when you buy something and it doesn't turn around to make you money, why are you going to keep it? Sony's doing the same thing. They came out and said that they regretted buying Bungie. And the reason why Bungie was bought was because they were about to go under without their help. So, guess what?
Okay. After some of my female digging that, women do on social media.
For sure.
I can see a tiny bit of the salt on this pretzel.
Okay. What do you got?
May 16th, 2025. This is on his personal Facebook. But there's certain things that are public. Cake cutting by our studio director, Marty Stratton, celebrating our game, Doom: The Dark Ages launch. Plus our game director, Hugo Martin, at the back taking photos. That was May 16th. I can see the sprinkle of salt. May 16th, and we're just passing the 4th of July. I can see the salty, but also it's not enough for me to be like, okay, you're totally justified to be this upset. But so that I found his LinkedIn, and looking at LinkedIn, it shows you like similar posts to like what he's posted. There's a lot of salty pretzels out there about their layoffs.
I mean, I'm not saying that layoffs are good for anybody. It sucks for anybody that are affected by it. However, looking at way business works,
picture beyond them, it's like you knew. I could even show up to work tomorrow and not have a job.
Anybody can. Like, that's the thing. Can. Amtrak is volatile in nature, and it always has been. Like, every year we have to fight for a contract. Whether or not we get to keep our pay is completely off, up in the air. Whether or not the younger guys here are going to keep their job, also up in the air. Like, every industry is volatile.
And it doesn't matter where you're at. Nobody is safe.
No. So, if you
It's
can
just,
make it to 20 years in an industry and retire, kudos. You made it. Good job.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Why? What'd you do?
Here I am eating my Starburst and I'm throwing it on my mostly empty plate of my little chicken and rice. My fingernails just hit the edge of the plate and it just...
Well, luckily we are done.
I know.
This was a hell of a news week. And the way I see it is every company is floundering. Valve can't make enough units to be able to give everybody one right out the gate.
I would love to mention how many 24 hours? Within 24 hours, Japan
Sold out. They were sold out. Like,
crazy.
oh
What a
man,
concept.
like Valve can't make enough units of the Steam Machine to sell. Sony's stopping disc production because it's not viable to keep spending money on something that doesn't sell. Xbox is laying off companies because they're not selling games. Like,
They're making smart moves. Xbox is doing a smart move on that. I mean,
exactly.
just-
Like it sucks that these guys are getting laid off, and I'm not celebrating that they're getting laid off. I'm celebrating the fact that Xbox is trying to do something to help them push forward.
yeah. Unfortunately, it takes the employee to get shit on to make things happen. And it sucks no matter who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Hopefully these guys got like what are they? Separation packages? What are they?
I would think.
I would hope so. I mean, some of these companies I think got golden parachutes, like to be able to go off and still continue making your games as independent. I wonder if they got like handed a sum of money and be like, "Good luck."
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows?
What they do with that money is what they do with that money. And most
Well-
people get handed big money like that and they're like, well, I'm going to blow it doing something else.
Well, with the instance of that lead developer saying, "Oh, we pitched an unpitchable game to Xbox and they gave us a blank check," essentially, like those guys were riding the fucking coattails of a benefactor, and they fucked around and found out. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is our game over. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you'd like to be on the show to talk news with us, offer your insights, please hit me up. You can DM me on Discord, YouTube, Twitter, or anywhere else you can find me. YouTube will probably be the best place. I always have stuff getting posted there. Where can they find you, Panda?
Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Xbox if you're lucky.
Oh yeah, I'm on Xbox too. I have the PlayStation account, but who knows how long that will
You and
be
I
after
both
they
do, and
close
it's
the
like,
PS Vita account.
Yeah.
Assholes. Oh well.
Pretty much anywhere and everywhere.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.